G'day. Well, a few of you have asked me, what is my favourite movie? That's a very difficult question to answer. And as the magpie walks into shot, I thought I'd keep this simple for the sake of my own sanity and try and answer a few questions on a day that's overcast and quite chilly with a bit of rain about. Perfect day for watching movies. Now, if you're anything like me, in the past, what used to be your favourite movies maybe aren't so much your favourite anymore. When I think way back, some of my favourites were Wall Street and the original Top Gun back in my 20s. And I remember when I used to ride my motorbike out west to visit friends, I had the theme of Top Gun or some of them going through my head as I was riding at high speed. But that's beside the point. Fast forward to now, and yeah, they're not necessarily my favourites, they're still good films. Now I have copies of just about all of my favourite films. And look, what I don't have on Blu-ray disc or DVD, you can stream these days through one of the platforms, so that's not a problem usually. So as I was picking out, I knew instinctively if I had to say one favourite movie, I'll get to that in a minute. As I was picking out of my library looking for that disc, of course I had to pull out some others, so this is impossible to narrow down, but I'll give you a couple of, I had to stop looking, my favourite films. So we'll go back from the classic days. Jaws. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And we'll get into a little bit more recent times, although this was a long time ago. Interview with the Vampire. Great film. I've seen that many times. Most of the thousands of films I've seen in my lifetime, I have seen many times, some more than others. So moving forward, I guess I have to mention The Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery and other great actors. I like submarine films, especially if Russians are involved. Crimson Tide is another one, a good film. Highly recommend all of these, by the way. Another all-time favourite is The Killing Fields. Now, funnily enough, if I search for a movie to watch, it's usually comedies. But, I don't know, there's so many, and the thing is that there's some great films have been made, both in the past and now. A lot of the times, I can't remember the names of the films I've seen because some are independent films. Now, one of my favourite actors, this is impossible to narrow down. Of all the actors that there are out there, male and female, I guess three of my top favourites that I think could do any role are Anthony Hopkins, Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio even, and Ben Kingsley, who can do any role whatsoever. And most films I've seen, you can't even pick that he's the same person in the last film you saw. So on that basis, Forrest Gump. And another Tom Hanks film, brilliant, The Green Mile. Don't forget Robin Williams. Don't dismiss him as not a great actor, he was. I was actually very upset when he died. Good Morning Vietnam is one of many classics. Great film. My sister still hasn't seen this. I've been nagging her for decades to see it, but she hasn't. And I have to mention, since I mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio, The Aviator. Brilliant film. And of my collection, it's there somewhere, but I had to stop looking because I have a pile in front of me. Schindler's List. Now, this isn't a comedy. It's a very, very good film. In fact, I would absolutely say it's the best film that Ralph Fiennes has ever done.
By law, I have to tell you, sir, I'm a Jew.
Well, I'm a German. So there we are.
You want these people?
My people, I want white people.
Who are you, Moses?
say your factory is a haven. They say you are good.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Again, Ben Kingsley.
All you have to do is tell me what it's worth to you. What's a person worth?
No, 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 no. What's one worth to you?
And of course, Liam Neeson. This is the best roles they've ever done, I think. Now I'm surrounded by magpies. Hello, they're all wet, by the way. One of those days you just want to lay on the couch and watch movies and talk to magpies. I guess my favourite recent film would have to be Bohemian Rhapsody, which is a true story about Freddie Mercury and Queen. When it comes to biographical sort of films, I like them to be as accurate as possible. And according to the surviving members of the band Queen, this was the case with that film.
So now what?
This is when the operatic section comes in.
Oh, the operatic section, yeah.
On a quick side note, if you ever get a chance to see the tribute band called Killer Queen, led by John Blunt, he knows me, they are the most accurate replication of Queen's music that you'll ever see. And John even actually looks very much like Freddie Mercury when he has his stagecraft on, especially.
It goes on forever, 6 bloody minutes.
I pity your wife if you think 6 minutes is forever.
My number one top film, if I had to have a top film, and I'll go into the reasons why this is one of my favourites, is Anthony Hopkins in The World's Fastest Indian. Now, not only is this a great film, I tell you what, there's so many different parts of it that are absolutely brilliant, great acting. But this particular one, it's a DVD, 2-disc collector's edition, I actually bought in the town where the story of the world's fastest Indian, Burt Munro, lived, which was in Invercargill, New Zealand. And this is a 2-disc collection. That's the actual movie. I bought it from, well, I've taken a lot of pictures when I was there. There's 2 places in New Zealand in Invercargill. One is the museum where they have all the movie props and replicas. The other one is where I bought this disc. Still have the receipt under here. And that's from the hardware shop. Because Burt Munro, it was E. Hayes and Sons in D Street. Burt Munro was good mates with the guy that owned the hardware shop. So when he died, he willed, I believe, everything, all the motorcycle collection, to that guy. Now these days, since I was there, everything's in a glass case, but back then you could actually, although you shouldn't, you could actually touch it. So it had a very special meaning to me, and we watched this back in the motel the night I bought it. Absolutely cannot recommend this film enough. And the collector's edition also has the original Roger Donaldson production of The Real Burt Munro as a short.
How do you spell your last name? Is it B-E-R-T?
B-U-R-T.
B-U-R-T.
Most of these Yanks call it.
How's your last name spelled?
M-U-N-R-O.
M-U-N-R-O. Where do you hail from? Where's your hometown?
Invercargill.
How do you spell that?
I-N-V-E-R-C-A-R-G-I-L-L.
G-I-L-L.
I generally spell it with one
New
L,
Zealand?
save ink. But anybody can buy a fast bike today and go fast. Riding it is only 1/100th of the actual experience needed, I think, myself.
So that's it, The World's Fastest Indian. So there you go. I've tried to make it easier on myself by not making it a complex video. and I'm surrounded by magpies here. So that answers your question, I hope. Ask me in the comments if I like a particular film, because it would be impossible to list all of my favourites. Alright, till next time. Cheers. What are you magpies doing? Alright, hang on. Do a wide shot of you, hang on. Okay, can I have a film?